What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Kill Press Show. It is Monday, April 6th, 2026. The show begins now. We got some breaking news to go over, as well as we're going to go over our sports calendar for the week. Go over all the sports that are happening this week, as April is quite the busy month. So we're going to go over it week by week, so we can break down the happenings of the sports world. But of course, we're going to start off with the breaking news that Adam Schefter just broke out. Broke out about an hour ago, a little over an hour ago. As sources have told him, Giants All-Pro defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence has requested a trade and will not be participating in the team's offseason workout program that opens on Tuesday. Lawrence and Giants have been through two off seasons attempting to negotiate a contract reflecting his value to the Giants over the last 3 years, but there have been no progress made. So with that being said, Dexter Lawrence has requested a trade out of New York. Obviously, Lawrence has been an all-pro for the New York Giants. He's been a staple of their defensive line. He gets a lot of sacks, gets a lot of pressure on the quarterback, does a great job stopping the run. Lawrence is a phenomenal defensive tackle. Simply put, he is one hell of a defender. So that being said, that is a really big loss for the New York Giants. We're hoping that they'd be much more competitive next season with the offseason moves they've made this far. Definitely takes a blow with this one if they can't figure out how to get Dexter Lawrence back, which it doesn't look like they will right now. Obviously, we're early in the offseason. Things could happen. With that also being said, the NFL draft is right around the corner. And there's a lot of great defensive players who are potentially up for grabs in the first round who are phenomenal on the defensive end of the football. So, with that in mind, if the Giants do choose to trade Dexter Lawrence sometime over the next few weeks, keep in mind, draft's around the corner. They can easily get a lot for him. And so if they do choose to go that route, Lawrence will be a great asset to whoever chooses to trade for him. An immediate impact on the defensive line. And a guy who's going to get you a lot of great production up front when it comes to your defense. Whether or not they do get some worked out, I don't know. But news for now, Dexter Lawrence wants to be traded. Dexter Lawrence wants out of New York. And of course, moving on, obviously, hockey runs throughout the week except for Friday. Friday is the only day this week where we don't have hockey. But NHL runs throughout the week. We've seen how the wild card race is shuffled up in both the Eastern and the Western Conference. The Philadelphia Flyers are now third place in the Metro Division when 2 weeks ago they were all but dead to rights. Now they find themselves in a playoff spot, and again, that just goes to show how crazy the Eastern Conference has been this season. Let's put the NHL standings real quick so y'all can see what's going on here. Yes, as you can see, Flyers are now third place in the Metro Division. Obviously, the Tampa Bay Lightning, Buffalo Sabres, and Montreal Canadiens have all clinched a playoff spot in the top three of the Atlantic. In the case for Buffalo, their 14-year playoff drought comes to an end. Montreal's been playing great hockey, and obviously Carolina, the lone team in the Metro, who has clinched. So these spots on down are the ones who haven't been clinched yet. Obviously, the Rangers, Panthers, and Maple Leafs are already eliminated. New Jersey and Washington are hanging in there by a thread. Columbus and Detroit are ice cold right now. Islanders are on the outside looking in, but they recently hired Peter DeBoer as their next head coach. They're only 1 point out of the playoff spot. Both third in the Metro, and for wildcard 2, Detroit and Columbus are out. Those two teams play each other on Tuesday night. That's a must-win game for those two teams. And while Washington looks like they're out, will look like they're out for a while, they still also hang on to playoff hope for dear life right now. And yeah, definitely heating up in the East. As far as the Western Conference goes, top three of the Central have already clinched. Edmonton has rebounded back in the first place in the Pacific, followed by Anaheim in second here. They're even with on points. And the Vegas Golden Knights, who are 1 point behind. Obviously, the goal differential is why we see the Oilers ahead of the Ducks. But obviously, the big thing right now is wild card at number 2. We saw the Jets got a win over Columbus, the Blues, the Sharks are all hanging in there right now. They're in an easy position to strike. With that being said, they're going to need a little bit of help. And obviously, it's a tie between the Kings and the Nashville Predators. Obviously, we saw the Kings epic 6-5 their 7-6 victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs in their last game. Nashville has been playing pretty decent hockey as of late, having won 7 of their last 10. So obviously Nashville is still in there. The Kings are still in there. The Sharks, Blues, and Jets are all the favorites. Obviously, the only two teams eliminated in the West have been Vancouver, who have already clinched best odds for the first overall pick, and the Chicago Blackhawks. The Calgary Flames are close to being eliminated, so are the Seattle Kraken. And obviously, Winnipeg, St. Louis, San Jose, Los Angeles, Nashville are all in heavy contention for that last wildcard spot, with Utah looking like they're going to be in a really good position to clinch wildcard number 1 sometime over the next few days, with a great goal differential of plus 30. So not only do they have a 5-point advantage, they also have quite the hefty goal differential advantage as well. Obviously, when you look at the games played, a lot of these teams are going to be around 77, 78 games played. So that being said, we are very close to the end of the season. Some of these teams only have 5 or 4 games left in their regular season. There's not a whole lot of games left to be played, so we're going to see a lot more teams try to play super motivated, fight for their playoff lives, and obviously we're going to see more and more teams added to the list of eliminated squads, adding to the list of the Maple Leafs, Panthers, Rangers, Blackhawks, and Canucks. Yeah, that's the NHL update. Obviously, the NHL runs throughout the week. Major League Baseball runs throughout the week as well. Obviously, I'm going to look at the standings here just so we can see each division individually. With that being said, it is also way too early on to determine the division winners. All we can see right now, who's playing well and who is not. As far as the American League East goes, Red Sox and the Orioles obviously off to a rough start. The Blue Jays just got swept by the White Sox. Tampa Bay's been competitive, but not just quite up there, but they have won their last 2 in a row. But obviously, the heavy best team in the American League East right now, based on the opening few weeks, have been the New York Yankees. So, Yankees heavy advantage there. AL Central, similar situation, only one team over 500, and that is the Cleveland Guardians, although the only team with a positive point run differential, the Detroit Tigers, are a game under 500. Twins in last, followed by Detroit. White Sox, who are coming off of a series win and sweep against the Toronto Blue Jays, including a walk-off single from a former Savannah Banana. That's an interesting story. Kansas City Royals are in second. Obviously, the Guardians are in first. They had a big series win over the Dodgers last week, so congratulations to them. Cleveland looks pretty decent right now. Shane DeLauder looks like he could be a heavy favorite to win Rookie of the Year this year if he keeps playing the way he has been playing over the course of the Guardians' first 10 games. Over to the American League West. Obviously, Houston leads the way. Angels off to a pretty decent start. Mike Trout has been playing very well. Texas Rangers, who had been playing good, having coming off a series in which they were swept in their opening set at home by the Cincinnati Reds. Seattle just coming off of a series loss against the Angels, and the Athletics in last, although the Athletics did score 12 runs in their last game, so offense trying to keep up there. Pitching obviously hasn't. That's the update for the AL West. Moving over to the National League side, the Miami Marlins are playing phenomenal baseball right now. Coming off a very competitive series against the New York Yankees. Their next series is against my Cincinnati Reds, so that'll be an interesting one to watch. God damn it, my chair keeps moving. New York Mets look pretty solid. Braves look pretty solid. Philadelphia Phillies coming off a big series win. And obviously the Nationals, they've lost 5 in a row. They've been sincerely struggling. Coming off a series against the Dodgers, so can't really blame them, but Nationals are the only team in the NL East that is not off to a good start this season. And move on to the NL Central. Brewers obviously leading the way, followed by the Reds and Pirates, who are tied for second and third. Pirates have won their last 5 games in a row, putting the traffic cones on their heads. Reds coming off the series sweep in Texas. Cardinals are over 500, but coming off of a series loss. And then the Chicago Cubs, the only team in the NL Central under 500. Coming in a loss in their last game, their last series as well. And then move on to the NL West. Obviously, Dodgers heavily leading the way. Plus 20 run differential, the only positive run differential in the NL West, followed by the Diamondbacks. Padres are a game under 500, Rockies are 3 games under 500, and the San Francisco Giants look like the most depressing organization in Major League Baseball at the moment, having just been dominated in a 3-game set by the New York Mets. They did get a win that series, but obviously, pale, obviously not much saying. Not much going on for them there. They are 3-7 to start the year when they start off the season great last year. These are the games today. I believe most of these are series kickoffs. We have a few more tomorrow as well. I'm going to go over tomorrow's games because I think these are all the series that are going to be happening tomorrow. These are all the series for every team in baseball. Their next series coming up. But Royals, AL Central matchup between the Royals and the Guardians. Padres play the red-hot Pittsburgh Pirates. Reds go to Miami to take on the red-hot Marlins. Cubs go to Tampa as the Tampa Bay Rays play their first game of the Tropicana in over a year. Brewers go to Boston to take on the ice-cold Red Sox. A couple teams looking to get back towards 500 as the Cardinals play the Nationals. Athletics travel to New York looking to bounce back from their hot performance, and the Yankees looking to stay hot. World Series rematch as the Dodgers go to Toronto to take on the Jays. Diamondbacks go to New York to take on the Mets. Orioles go to Chicago to take on the White Sox, coming off of their series sweep against the Toronto Blue Jays. Twins for the Tigers in Minnesota. Mariners go to Texas to play the Rangers in an AL West matchup. Astros go to Colorado to take on the Rockies. Braves will be going to Los Angeles to take on the Angels. Los Angeles take on the Angels. And the Philadelphia Phillies travel to San Francisco to take on the San Francisco Giants, who need some really good results soon if the Giants wish to hopefully turn the momentum of their young season around. And that is the MLB update. Moving on to the NBA. And the NBA, NHL, and MLB, they have games throughout the week, so be ready for that. As far as the NBA update goes, Pistons remain in first place in the East, followed by the Celtics, Knicks, and Cavaliers. As far as the play-in teams go, we have the Atlanta Hawks, the 76ers. Why are there so many ESPN notifications coming on right now? So the 76ers, Toronto Raptors, Charlotte Hornets, Orlando Magic, and the Miami Heat. I said this last time. Top 10, I feel like, for the most part, is basically secured at this rate. NBA is coming down to their final games of the season, so regular season for basketball is almost over. The NBA and the NHL are quickly closing in on the playoffs. Obviously, 11 through 15 are the Bucks, Bulls, Nets, Pacers, and Wizards. Pacers, obviously, without Halliburton this season, and they have struggled sincerely because of it. But yeah, that's the update for the Eastern Conference as far as the West goes. Again, same thing for the West as is for the East. The top 10 are basically scared at this point. Defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder lead the way, although the San Antonio Spurs are not too far out of first place in the West, followed by the Lakers and Nuggets. And the Houston Rockets, Timberwolves, Suns, Clippers, Trailblazers, and Warriors all trail behind. Steph Curry is back for the Golden State Warriors, so they will have Steph Curry back for their playoff run. And obviously behind them are the Grizzlies, Mavericks, Pelicans, Kings, and Jazz. Pretty substantial gap once again between the bottom 5 and the top 10, but that is to be expected. And that's the NBA update so far. As far as the games go this week, today's games are the Knicks versus Hawks, Pistons, Magic, 76ers, Spurs, Cavs, Grizzlies, and Trailblazers versus Nuggets are the games tonight. And we have a lot more games throughout the week. Again, NBA closing in on the end of their regular season, but they will continue to have games throughout the week. But obviously Sunday, April 12th will be the last day of the regular season for the NBA, as next Tuesday will begin the play-in tournament. And that is your NBA update. Monday Night Raw is on Monday. For the wrestling fans out there, the second to last Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown before WrestleMania, which will be next weekend, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. So, time to look forward to for the WWE fans out there. Obviously, biggest game of the college basketball season is tonight, the national championship game, UConn and Michigan. Michigan, from what I've seen, is the favorite to win the game on Kalshi at least, with 74% of batters on Kalshi going for Michigan. UConn, they have played great in the tournament. They've had some great performances, some great comebacks, but this is a red hot Michigan offense who has scored 90 points a game in the tournament. Michigan going to be looking to capitalize on that to win their first national championship in a bit. But obviously, the big event. The big event this weekend, April 9th through April 12th at Augusta National. The Masters is this weekend. I'm excited for it. The Masters is finally back. Let's look in Kalshi real quick. I do have a Kalshi account. Obviously, we don't care a shit about this. Let's look. Let's take a look at the Masters tournament. Championship odds, our top three right now are Scotty Scheffler, Bryson DeChambeau, and Jon Rahm. Those are your top three favorites right now. Defending champion Rory in fourth, and Ludwig Aberg in fifth. Just have Xander Schauffele in sixth. But obviously, Scotty Scheffler is a bigger betting favorite. Keep an eye out for Bryson DeChambeau, though, because Bryson DeChambeau is coming off back-to-back event wins at LIV. He is playing some of the best golf in his life right now. He is red hot, and he's heating up at the right time, because we all know at the Masters, you have to be at your absolute best for 18 holes a day for the 4 days of the tournament. So we saw Bryson put himself in a good position to win it last year. Oh, look at that. Bryson just got jumped by John. But yeah, obviously Bryson put himself in a position to win it last year, had a rough fourth day. That led to him losing and Rory McIlroy winning in his playoff hole against Justin Rose. But Masters is back. Scotty's favorite, followed by Bryson, Jon Rahm, and Rory and Ludwig Aberg. Masters tournament once again this weekend, April 9th through 12th. Be sure to tune in on the Masters website or wherever you can watch your golf tournaments at. But yeah, we have that this weekend as well. And I believe that'll be it. Oh yeah, MLS is back in the swing of things too. So for any Major League Soccer fans out there, the MLS is officially back. So, you ready for some MLS? Soccer season, at least here in the U.S., is back in the full swing of things as well. Next games are on Saturday, April 11th. Yep, that is going to do it. Those are your weekly happenings in the sports community. So thanks for tuning in. Obviously, went over the breaking news of Dexter Lawrence, and we went over this week's sports calendar. I'm going to try to do this every week now. Because obviously, we're in a few weeks where we have a lot of great sports coming up. Obviously, the Masters are this weekend. Today is the conclusion of college basketball. Next weekend is WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. The weekend after that, we have the NFL Draft. In the first weekend of May, we have the Kentucky Derby. So, lots of great sports coming up. Be ready for a bunch. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you next time. Maybe we'll get some more breaking news throughout the week. I'll try to do a better job covering the wild critters from the NHL. But then, thanks for tuning in. See you all next time. Have a great Monday, everybody.